My name is Staff Sergeant Casey Sechanik, and today marks 8 months since I've been raped. I've absolutely had it, and I am at my breaking point. I'm currently being failed by both the military and the criminal justice system. I was sent to PTSD, depression, and anxiety treatment for 3 months, later to find out that this was just a CYA for the military in case I unalived myself. Upon my return to my unit, I was thrown back into work and expected to be 100% cured. I asked for an expedited transfer, and it was denied. The criminal justice system gave me an option of a simple battery charge and 10 months of probation from drinking alcohol against my rapist. They said that there wasn't enough evidence. After I had provided a rape kit, photos of my ripped out hair, bruises, my clothing, 3 witness statements, and a controlled phone call of 35 minutes with my rapist, apologizing and crying repeatedly and apologizing for the trauma that he had caused me. If there wasn't a rape, what trauma would there have been? I know that I'm not the only victim, and the military and criminal justice system fails millions of others just like me every single day. I have had it. And something needs to be done. Something needs to be changed.
So this TikTok by Staff Sergeant Sechanik is incredibly heartbreaking, and it's also really brave. So before we get into the details about this, I want to point out how brave this is. The reality is, military service members can face a lot of repercussions for going public for things like this. But there's a reason why so many people are going public with things like this. And it is because there's a problem of rampant sexual assault within the military. And it is because of these structures that exist within the military. You see, the reality is that people abuse their positions of power, and they abuse these positions of power because what exists in the military is their own form of criminal justice system is directly tied to the chain of command. And you can see the issue there, where if you have people that are in any way, shape, or form part of the chain of command, that are also the abusers and perpetrators in this situation, and you have a very clear rank structure where people of lower rank feel as though they're uncomfortable or incapable of calling out the bad behavior of people higher ranks than them, especially if they're in the chain of command, then you've got a huge problem where people abuse their power. But then on top of that, there's another cultural issue that exists within the military, where people with higher rank are inherently trusted more, which comes kind of without reason. There's not really any inherent reason to trust people with higher rank than with lower rank, especially when it comes to situations like this. In fact, a huge percentage of the sexual assaults that happen within the military happen in the context of a higher ranking person abusing a lower ranking person. And that's something that's absolutely critical. But then you have another cultural component, which is this idea that people are there for a steady job and a retirement, and they've put in years. And so very often, people who are serial harassers and serial abusers will basically get passed around, will get very lighthearted treatment. If they commit acts like this in one unit, they might get shuffled over to another unit, or they might get shuffled into like a different office job or tucked away in some corner office somewhere where they're less around people, but they still get to keep their job, especially if they're really close to retirement, because oh, you put in so many years and you don't want to hurt their retirement. And then, of course, there's just the factor of the good old boys club playing a factor. And a lot of women in the military are sort of expected to play along with this good old boys club. All of these things together combine to create this environment where a lot of people in the chain of command are hesitant to actually punish bad actors within the system. And then on top of that, you have these officers who are concerned about their performance reports. They don't want to look bad. They don't want to be the commander of a base that has all of these sexual assaults happening. And so it's a lot easier to, instead of addressing them, to just ignore them and sweep them under the rug, make it a lower charge and just tuck it away, pretend like it's no big deal. And this is something that is incredibly pervasive throughout the military. And it's one of the reasons why there's still so much rampant sexism, racism, homophobia, you name it, that permeates the military because the culture, because of the institution, and the way it is designed in order to protect those with higher rank and to leave those people with lower ranks out hanging. This is something that has been going on for an incredibly long period of time. And there is a huge percentage of women in the military who have had to face sexual harassment and sexual assaults. And while the military claims to be doing things, while the military claims to be making things better, cases like this just keep happening over and over and over again.